Mike, what's up,
There
man?
we go.
All right.
What's up,
Now,
I don't know what the hell that was all about.
I don't know. Every time you went live and accepted me, it would freeze up, and then I'd get a blank screen. And
The whole app would start over for me. It would start. Facebook would start over. I don't know what that was all about.
I was having the same problems the other night. I guess it's maybe just a glitch in one of our systems. So what you
Yeah,
up
we're
to, man?
good. Nothing. How's your teeth?
Oh, they're good. Just waiting to have my last procedure done. I'll be all good.
So what they do?
Had to have last two bad ones taken out, and they go back in there and replace the other ones in a couple weeks, and then all of them be restored.
Those medication fucked you up, huh?
Yeah, man, I can't take pain medicine. They gave me like four, and I took one of them, and
What
um,
were is it Percocet or something?
I was like Lortabs, and he gave me. I
Oh
only took
yeah,
one,
it's
and
like the same.
yeah,
It's pretty much the same thing.
yeah, I can't handle pain pills, and so he
I
gave
could
me.
tell, man. I could tell yesterday, like, dude, I am not in and out. I cannot talk.
No, yeah, he gave me one, and it just knocked me for a loop, man, and I just I I can't take them. He gave me four, and I took one, and I was like, that's it. I mean, really, as soon as I get through, the first initial hours of pain after you have those, extractions, it's fine. But those was the last two,
Yeah.
and and then get it done soon. So, but
Was
yeah, I
it
can't.
top or bottom?
It's bottom,
Back?
yeah, bottom back, two molars, and then they go
Yep.
back in there and replace them, and but so I had those taken out, but then I go back in and have this other procedure. But I mean, God, it just I can't take pain pills, and he gave me
I can't take the dentist, period. I hate it.
the shot. Once I'm through the shots, I'm fine. But he gave me four, and I took one of
Yeah,
them,
those
and then
hurt, man. They hurt.
I threw the other three away. I threw the other three away.
No, I'm talking about the shots.
Oh, the
Those
shot. Well,
fucking
is is I used an oral surgeon, and the oral surgeon ain't like a regular dentist. The dentist just kind of eases those shots in. The oral surgeon just jams them in the mouth, and I was like ready to slap him.
fuck that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I sent you those pictures the of our podcast.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty good.
Dude, that's what's up. I told you. It's
Oh,
just
my
gonna
sister.
take some time.
Hey, Christy, how are you?
Are you getting some? I don't see any comments.
Oh no, it said my sister was watching.
Oh, so what else is going on, man?
Oh man, sitting here watching our daily soap opera with our president. Wonder if we're gonna have the government shut down tomorrow.
What shitholes is he talking about? Yeah,
Well,
dude, come on, man.
there's actually some controversies if he actually said that or not. Some people were saying he did, some people were saying he didn't.
Even if he did, don't repeat it. Stupid.
Um, people just got to realize, that's Trump being Trump. So,
Who did he allegedly say it to?
um, I think he was talking about African countries.
Well, who did he say it to?
Oh, there was Senator Cochran from Tennessee? There was a Senator Durbin in there. I think Lindsey Graham was in there. Um, um, there was a group of about four or five senators. Two of them said he said it. Two of them said he did. Two or three of them said he didn't say it. So there's controversy whether he did. Um,
I
whether
mean,
he,
dude, if he said it, it is kind of fucking weird. But dude, that's him, dude. I mean, what are you gonna do?
I mean, did it really surprise anybody that he said it?
He ain't gonna change for nobody. So that's him. I mean, shit.
Yeah, I mean, and he don't give a damn. Now I'm just saying if our government's going to shut down, because they're
Why would that happen? I just heard you say that. What's up with that?
Well, we we're so in debt, and they have to keep doing these. Um, we run out of money to keep funding the government every 6 months. So they have to keep raising the debt ceiling because we've got more money going out than they coming in. So they have to keep
Yeah.
raising the debt ceiling. We're at $21 trillion. So now the big
Woo-hoo.
yeah, the big fight is over the DACA thing right now. They're the Dreamers and going
What's
back and
this
forth.
Hawaii thing, man? What's this fucking? Did you see the thing about Hawaii?
Uh-uh.
A missile threat?
Oh! What happened is this idiot who worked out there at one of these places, he actually was leaving and hit the wrong button, something that was saying that there was a nuclear attack that was being launched on Hawaii, and it just
What the hell?
freaked everybody out, and everybody's running to bomb shelters, and they thought they was up under nuclear attack.
Uh, Why was that? Why was that an option at all? Anyway, that there's a button to hit saying that. I don't know.
Well, I guess I mean, being a former military man, y'all was never around something like that, but I'm guessing that oh, people who are in whatever like that, they get signals, hey, we're up under nuclear attack, and then the next thing is to ward the country or ward their citizens there that we're up under nuclear attack, and he hit the wrong thing, and when he was leaving, and then sirens go off, warning that we're under immediate nuclear attack, seek shelter, and it just freaked the whole country out. But I imagine heads
Dude.
are going to blow over that.
Well, I had my hip broken twice. How's it go?
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I forget how it goes though.
He goes, how do he goes? He said, you're a pretty old man. He goes, yeah, I'm 30 years older than you are. Had my hip broke, or had my back broke once, my hip broke
He
twice.
says it's slow. He says it's slower, bro. He says it so.
He goes, yeah, I'm 30 years older than you are. I've had my back broke once, my hip twice, and on my worst day, I would beat the hell out of you.
Yeah, bro. I watched it, dude. I watched all those movies. I watched them. They're all on Amazon Video.
Did you say? Oh, you watched them?
Yeah, they're classics, bro.
Oh wow, I told you, man, they're great movies. I mean, that Cowboys was the greatest one. It was one of the greatest ones ever. And then did you see the one about where your fault, my fault, nobody's fault? I'm gonna blow your head off.
Yes, yes.
And
I don't know which
what
line I like better out of those two.
what about the opening scene where he walks out there and about the sheep farmer and the guy? He goes, "You go ahead, Mister. You try to cut that rope down." He goes, "No, you got me scared." Throws
Oh,
that
I know.
knife.
Opening scene. I didn't even know what the hell was going on. I'm like, what is going on in this movie,
That
man?
was yeah. They fixed like that sheep farmer. And he had him. He goes, had that rifle on. He goes, "No, sir, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't butting anybody's business. I was 18 years old, 18-year old, at which time it almost got me killed." And then they kicked that boy. He goes, "Oh, now why do you have to go and do that for?"
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. So I
I
I,
think
I
you're right,
watched it.
friend. Somebody shouldn't butt into somebody else's business. Sheep farmer, you don't sell those sheep?
Your
He goes,
fault,
"All
my
right, you work."
fault.
He goes, "All right, you working for me now."
Yeah, you know those movies like the back of your hand, huh?
I've watched all those John Wayne movies. Hey, Christy, how are you tonight? How's the kids? Hey, put our little thing up there so they can subscribe to
Oh
our
yes.
cast.
Yeah.
Forgot that. Christy, go on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. We're getting this podcast going, and we do whenever night. You can come watch our videos. We do some good ones. That's our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So what'd you think about the guy who had been over here in the
Chris,
United States?
Chris, you might have to do it, dude, because it's not letting me pin it because it's not my video. All you
It's,
do is
there
all
we
you
go.
do is type it in, and
It's
then
there.
just press it. Yeah, but it's gonna go up.
Yeah, it's there. It says it's at the bottom now.
I know. I'm saying it's not pinned.
Yeah, it's pinned.
It ain't pinned.
It is.
All right.
No, it's pinned. Yeah.
It don't it don't get the pin thing next to it.
Um,
All you gotta do is type it, and then once you send it up, you just hold your finger on it, and then you choose to decide to put the pin on it.
what is it? The MC show?
The MC channel hosted by Mike and Chris.
Any space in between?
Space between everything. Except for MC.
The MC channel hosted by Mike and Chris.
Yep. And post it up.
There we go.
All right, now hold your finger on that comment. Or click on the comment.
It's up there, man.
All right, so even when you touch that comment, nothing happens.
Yeah, it just says at the bottom, Chris Peaks, the MC channel hosted by Mike and Chris.
I know. Now touch it. Touch it with your finger.
When I touch it, it says delete comment.
Oh, it should give you an option to pin it, but all right.
But anybody go to that right there and you're gonna be able to watch it.
Yeah,
So,
that's okay.
what did you think about that guy up there in I think it was in Michigan or Ohio the other day that got he'd been here since he was 9 years old and was married and working, had 3 kids, and then got deported back to Mexico.
I didn't hear about him.
Yeah, he had been here since he was 9, and he was 39 years old. He's married and had a wife and 3 kids, and they found out about him, and
He's illegal.
yeah, he was illegal, and they deported him over there. It's so sad. I mean, he's crying, holding his
I mean, was he
family.
working? He was a working man. He was a legit man.
Working man, legit man, had a family,
No,
and daughters like, 3 kids, 15, 14, 13, and they're
no,
deporting him back to Mexico.
not
And you
cool.
think about it, the guy had been here since he was 9, okay? So he knows
Yeah,
nothing. That would be like them taking me and you and
for
dropping us
real.
in dropping us in Mexico.
Yeah,
And
just because that's because where we were born. Yeah,
yeah, I get trying to stem the you know
immigrants.
our immigrant, but that's not really the right way to go to take a man who's been here for 30 years and
Yeah, there's gotta be some loophole when it comes to situations like that.
yeah, in fact, back during the Reagan administration, they had passed a bill, and I think there was like they estimated there was 1 million illegals here then, and the bill that was passed was there was going to be amnesty granted, and then they was going to try to, close down the, protect the border and all this right here, but then it was never enforced. And then the Bush administration, there was like they estimated there was 12 million here then, and the Bush administration passed the same thing, amnesty, and get the people involved. And again, it was never enforced. And now I think there's 20 million illegal immigrants here. And
So was his wife and kids legals?
yes, his wife was an American citizen, and it
Oh,
looks
that
like,
sucks.
and his kids were, since they were born here, they were legal. So it looks like, I don't understand how if you marry an American citizen, how you don't get granted automatic citizenship. But there's so many things that are screwed up because I remember there was a guy who had been, it was a while back, but he had served in the United States Marines, or maybe it was the Army, for like 26 years, and um, they finally gave him citizenship after 26 years. Well, my take on that is if you raise your right hand and from whatever country and you join the United States military, you should get automatic
Oh
citizenship.
yeah. Oh.
You know, the guy had like 2 or 3 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, and
Oh yeah. You got. Come on, man.
um,
That ain't cool. That
yeah,
dude's life fucked up now.
yeah. I mean, he was not, he was out there fighting for our country, wasn't even allowed to vote. There's just different ways. I think they're picking out the small stuff, and this is not sending this guy back to Mexico is not gonna. It's not solving anything. All I think it did was just take him away from his family, and I just
The problem with that whole illegal immigrant stuff is a lot of them, yeah, they're illegal, but a lot of them are just coming over here and working.
yes, they are. Yeah, that's true. They're working.
I mean, it's
Um,
not like they're coming over here like in gangs, and I mean, I guess that's happening too, but predominantly, I don't think it's like that.
the problem is though, Mike, is with the with this right here is with the illegals is it and I was trying to explain this to somebody the other day. It drives down wages. Like what I do,
I
25
understand.
25 years ago, these guys um, in the back, they were making, 13, 14, 15, $16 an hour. Well, today they're making $11 an hour because they can get the illegal Eagles to come over here and work for $7.50 an hour. So it's driving down wages for these people.
Oh, I get it. I
Yeah.
totally understand.
And people want to
I'm
say,
not. I'm not. I'm not going ultra liberal and saying, "Nah, let them stay. Let them stay."
and people are saying that, well, they're doing jobs that Americans won't do jobs. Well, no, they're not. I mean, there was plenty of construction workers here that was doing that. But I mean, when you having to pay these construction workers 15, $16 an hour, and now you've got an illegal over here that's willing to do it for $6 an hour, it's driving down.
It's a problem. Yeah.
Uh, I,
No,
I got
that's a tough situation. No,
so we got a lot of people watching, guys. We got a pin up here. It's called the MC channel, hosted by Mike and Chris. Please go to YouTube and subscribe that. Our viewers are growing every day. We've got to get 100 subscribers, and then we'll go from
and
there.
then we can get the option to have sponsors, and once we get that, and we move up in the world.
Move up in our podcast world. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand. I don't know what the exact answer is with the illegal problem. I mean, build a wall. That's fine. If you build a wall, I mean, people are just going to go over it. I mean, they'll dig under it. They'll find a way to do it.
Well, there's people that are qualified and specialized in dealing with that shit. Me and you don't have the answers for that. They do. So someone's got to figure it out.
I mean, there's lots of things, and I do this every night. I always leave my cigarettes when we're talking. Um, there's lots of things I don't have the answer for, like I've argued with people back and forth about health care. I don't know what the answer for it is. I mean, I think Obamacare was a complete and total disaster. It did nothing but drive up premiums. They were
You
supposed to
you
go.
you think it was a complete and total disaster?
Absolutely.
You don't think it was a good start?
Okay, I think it was a start, but it was something that needed to be tweaked because I don't think it did was drive
Yeah,
up premiums
absolutely.
board. I don't think the whole thing should have been scrapped and started over with. I
Right.
think it should have been tweaked and
Like like amendments.
right, and worked out. Because even Obama said that this is not perfect, this is not an idea, this is just a start that needs to be tweaked. I don't think the answer is
Get rid
going
of
up.
it.
And the funny thing about this is this Obamacare that the Republicans fought to repeal. Well, this was their idea to Hillary care back in the 90s. This was their plan.
Yeah.
And then because Obama passes it through, they don't want to do it,
Well, Chris, let me ask you a question. Other
Huh?
countries like England and stuff. Let me ask you a question. Other countries like England and stuff that do have health care, it works, don't it?
Okay, herein lies the problem with that, though. They go with single payer, right? The problem with that is, and like Norway, Sweden,
Or
places like that.
Canada.
Okay, but you're also talking about countries of 30 million people. This is a country of 350 million people.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I mean that therein lies the problem. Now, I kind of like the Sanders idea of Medicare for all because you're already paying into Medicare and it goes for the elderly, and then Medicaid goes for the poor. Well, I wouldn't mind paying a few more dollars in taxes on Medicare as if they expanded it to where everybody got
Yeah.
insurance. Instead
But
of me
there's a
paying.
lot of people that would not agree with you on that.
Yeah, of course, but I believe that's the most logical answer is just to have a slight tax increase in the Medicare Medicaid, and then
Because it'll definitely add up. It'll definitely add up.
you would not have to go out and purchase individual insurance at $400 a month, or five hundred
Which
dollars
is
a month.
which is just asinine. That's just crazy.
I mean, and the problem is too is we've let the pharmaceutical companies, back you think back, you know, 80, 90 years ago, somebody go to the doctor and it cost them $5, to get their medicine. But now that the Medicare and Medicaid Act that was put in place, they allowed doctors and hospitals to charge whatever they wanted to charge, and the government would pay for it. Well, that's driven up prices throughout since it came over. I mean, it's became a Ponzi
Okay,
scheme.
so run that by me. I didn't know this. So it's okay. So not 90 or whatever years ago, you could go to the doctor and pay whatever. You know.
Right, because you'd have the insurance companies involved. You got to remember
Okay, so
the insurance companies, the pharmaceutical companies, and uh, the hospitals, they're out to make money.
oh,
You know,
absolutely. I know that.
it's a business for them. Okay, so yeah, so now 80, 90 years ago, you'd go to your country doctor, you'd go to your hospital, and you'd get a bill for it. But it was a bill that you could afford, and but now you've got doctors making $300,000 a year. People paying $400 or $500 a month for prescription medicine, and the pharmaceutical companies is taking over, and that's why they don't want this to take place because they're going to lose money on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
It
you know,
all it's always money.
when my dad was dying, I remember the last few days he had went in. They put him in a medically induced coma, and
How long ago was this?
he died February 15th of last year. So it was in February of last year. Well, I remember
Oh, okay.
I went in there one day. They had him in a medically induced coma. They had this thing on his heart that was putting electrodes on it. This thing on his liver that was trying to pump out poisons, and this thing on his kidneys that was making his kidneys.
Damn.
And I'm looking at him, I'm going, he's dying. Why are y'all doing
Oh,
this?
yeah.
Well, the reason they was doing it is because he had great
Money,
insurance. Huh? He had great
money.
insurance, and he had Medicare, so they was just trying to run the score
Milk
up and
it,
run the
milk
numbers
it,
up, and make as
milk
much
it.
money as
Yeah.
they could off of him. So I was like, he's
Oh,
dying.
that's fucked up. That's no. I don't like that. That's not cool.
Hey, you're keeping him alive as long as you can, so you can bill him for it. And then, you go to a hospital and, you want a Tylenol. Well, they charge you $15 for a Tylenol. You want an extra pillow,
Dude,
they charge you $20 for a pillow. I mean, that's, you know, that's where lies the problem is now it's no longer providing health care. It's for the pharmaceutical companies, the hospitals, and the doctors.
dude,
You
even
know,
in jail, if you want aspirin, you have to pay for
I didn't know that.
it. Yeah. Yeah, the pharmaceutical industry is a motherfucker, huh? They must be
Oh,
raking. They must be raking in that cash.
and I mean, can you imagine somebody with, I mean, I see these people going in, like this woman I know, and she had terminal cancer, and she's like, 90 something years old. Well, what do? The first thing they start is chemotherapy. Well, why are you putting somebody through that at 90 something years old when you know they're not going to live that much longer? I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I hate to bring it up, but yeah, my dad's situation, they didn't do the chemo thing.
that if I ever got it, I'd refuse to take it.
It's poison.
Yeah, they tell you it's poison. It kills, everything that.
Everything. I guess it has some success rate, but I don't think it's much.
Man, and I said this before. If you look at the odds on it and the survival rate, I mean, for the people who actually beat it, it's Powerball odds. You know,
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, if you get, I mean, I hate to say it, but if you get cancer, you're gonna die
yeah.
eventually. You're gonna die, and
And dude, don't tell me they can't come up with a cure. The money's not in the cure. The money's
no,
in the fucking
you know,
milking it out.
they're treating the symptoms. They're not treating the disease.
Yeah, they could cure it if they got. Come on, man.
I
I
mean,
think.
is it worth prolonging somebody's life 6 months to go through that horrible chemotherapy and make their quality of life horrible for those 6 months? Or I mean,
I mean, I wonder why they did it with AIDS. AIDS. I mean, we used to be a straight up death sentence.
well, and
HIV.
that's again too. They no longer quit looking for like, and I may be sure there's people still looking for cures for it, but I'd read that the meds now,
You're
it,
good.
yeah, you'll live forever, but they say that to afford these meds, it costs
Yeah,
$20,000 a year. You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, because the only cases that we really have to like put on, to polarize is like Magic Johnson and stuff like that. Obviously, he can afford it.
well, and the most people can get grandfathered into the Ryan White Act that Bush signed in 1990, and that the government will pay for the meds. Um, so, I mean, the meds are available. Um, you can either get through insurance or through the Ryan White Act. And like there's a clinic here in Birmingham, the 1917 clinic, and you just go in there and you get grandfathered into the Ryan White Act. They pay for your meds. It doesn't cost anything, keeps people alive. Um, Again, I mean, that's costing a lot of money. I mean, because, and
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, I'm not saying these people shouldn't be, given um, treatment. The problem is they're just letting pharmaceutical companies charge whatever they want to charge. You look at what we're charging for prescription drugs and what Canada's charging for prescription drugs, and I mean, it's pennies on the dollar what they're charging is what we're
yeah,
charging.
I know. And that's basically how you feel about abortion too, right?
Um, I'm I just don't feel that nobody has the right to go in there and decide that okay, this child or
At
this
any
concern.
point.
Uh, I'll probably go along with it in cases of endangerment of the mother's life. I can probably go along with that. You know, uh, I could probably go along with that. But one guy pointed out to me, he goes, well, "What about the women who get raped? Should they have to carry the kid?" And I said, "Well, show me a statistic of how many women that's been raped that got impregnated."
Oh, I'm sure it's not astronomical.
No. Now, do I believe if a woman got raped and she got impregnated, should she keep the child? No, I wouldn't say somebody should be forced to do that.
Oh,
But I
of course
bet
not.
that, I bet the statistics on that is, one in 150,000. I mean, I would have to just go back and look. I don't know.
But I mean, if you can't care for the child and it's early enough in the embryo stage or whatever it is, I don't know the exact science of it, but I'm pretty sure there's a stage of the embryo or whatever it is where it's safe to abort it.
Well, I mean, I think that also should fall into um, personal,
Again, I don't know the whole science on it, so
you know, I think that should fall in, personal responsibility. I mean, there's condoms in every corner, um,
no doubt, no doubt.
but just to use abortion as a birth control, I'm totally against that.
Oh yeah, to use it as like a contraceptive, yeah, for sure.
You know,
No way.
what if somebody said, okay, I don't want this baby, so I'm just letting this baby leave? Well,
Nah,
who
that
has
ain't
the
cool.
right? Who has the right to decide that? I just,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a double edged sword.
and I mean, and the thing about it is, I mean, it really doesn't matter. It was a Supreme Court decision that was decided over 50 years ago. It's not going to be overturned. Um, um, it's just basically a losing battle, and I think a lot of people should just, I know so many people that say, well, I'm not going to vote for this candidate who supports abortion. Well, if that's your only reason not to vote for a candidate, well, I think that's kind of foolish, because there's lots of things that I don't agree with the candidate with, but I'm still going to vote for them.
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's another thing people don't take into consideration.
One single issue is not going to make me go in there and vote for a candidate. I mean, uh,
And one single issue isn't gonna make you not vote for a candidate.
I think in some cases it will. I think that there were some people that was not going to vote for Trump because of his, build that wall.
Oh yeah. I
Uh,
don't
um,
know.
you know, but again, that was the keystone of his campaign, and it did.
Yeah, well, it was. I know.
The guy was like, that's what he started, and
It was his version of Obama's change.
well, and so there was somebody pointed this out. Throughout history, whenever we've had a two-term president, except for Bush and Reagan, usually they change parties. They're ready for change. So usually the person who runs to carry on the same message or a third term for that candidate, they get votes. Usually the party that's been in power gets taken out. We can go back to Eisenhower. Kennedy or Nixon was his vice president. Most qualified person out there. Kennedy beats
Yeah,
Nixon. Um, you know,
that's a good point. Yeah,
um, you know, Carter beating Ford. Bush beating um, Gore. Um,
yeah.
uh,
There's a swap. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
and something else that would be interesting. I think it'd be a great book to look at or to write. There was a lot of people who voted for Obama in 2008 that turned around and voted for Trump in 2016.
yeah. Well, I know. I seen those statistics.
Yeah,
It's real.
there was the Trump Obama voter because both of them had messages of change.
I think there's a couple different versions of Trump fans. I don't think you got the like I said. Not all Trump supporters are racist, but all racists are Trump supporters.
Yeah, I told somebody that analogy the other day. But if you say that you're a Trump supporter, then you automatically get labeled as a
No, see,
Nazi.
no, that's fucked up. I don't agree with that.
And I mean, my thing, I jumped on the.
And first of all, the guy's not racist, man. I
No,
mean,
and Lindsey
sorry.
Graham said that tonight. I mean, the guy's not racist. I mean,
Come on, man.
he's not. No, he's not a racist.
He's a New Yorker through and through. He's not racist.
No, I mean, I find that humorous, that people want to say that, but I mean it's not. I mean, he was the only candidate, Republican candidate, or really even Democrat that I've ever seen that went into the black community and campaigned and asked for their vote, and he got the largest percentage of black vote that I think Bush had since 2000. And he made a good point. He was speaking in, I forgot, it was Detroit or someplace, and he was asking their vote, and he said, he said, every 4 years, he said the Democratic Party comes in here and asks for your vote, and then as soon as they get your vote, they abandon you and do nothing for you. He goes, what the hell? He goes, what are they doing for you?
Oh, I know.
And
It's a goddamn disaster case over there.
yeah, he made a great point. I mean, they come there begging for their vote, and then they totally abandon them.
Chicago too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably getting a lot of fucking hate people listening to us right now, but whatever.
I don't know. I seen a couple of, you know, hearts and likes and stuff like that. But I mean, I just think we're speaking the truth on things. I mean,
I
uh,
mean, I don't know, man. I lean left and right, or I lean right with certain things and left with certain things. That's all.
I'm, yeah,
I mean, and if you don't, it's fine with me. It don't hurt my feelings. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
pretty much line up with the right on most things. I mean, I'm more fiscally conservative, but I'm more socially liberal on a lot of things.
Me too. Me too.
Well, like some things really doesn't matter to me. Um, you know, I, yeah. And then some things, I think we're pushing it too far. Like the transgender choosing which bathroom they go into. Well,
Oh
when I go with
God.
piss, I'm not sitting there looking to see who's pissing beside me or really paying attention or
Oh, it's
that.
ridiculous.
And,
You got to get off of that,
and
please.
how many places do you go into that already have unisex bathrooms? I mean,
And
um,
it's happening either way. What the fuck?
so I mean, I think you're really making a mountain out of a molehill out of
Big
that.
time.
And I thought it was humorous. The guy who passed tried to get the bathroom bill passed in North Carolina. He got beat by a transgender.
Oh shit, did he? I didn't know that. That's funny. That's irony right there, boy.
At its best. At its best.
That's funny shit. Oh man. But finally, little change in subject. We can thank some of these viewers for helping support us because
Yeah,
I was very surprised when I seen that.
and I didn't really get to read. How many viewers did you say we was getting? I mean, I kind of glanced at it.
It didn't. It's not that it said. It didn't say specifically. It said your channel it's been come on. It's been coming. You know, we've been recognizing that your channel has been increasing drastically in views. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And if you need tips, it gives you tips. You know, I mean, it basically keep busting out content the way you are at a regular basis. Blah blah blah, stuff like that.
Hmm.
But if it straight up said, whatever you're doing, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, I think there's been some good back and forth. On
Dude,
it.
it hasn't been that long, you know.
No, no, no. I mean, just since we started doing this,
And
yeah,
we have, and for most people that are into the podcast, they haven't even heard us get into our JFK thing yet, you know, because
that's not gonna.
there's been this lull in the JFK thing because of my injuries, but
Yeah,
I mean
but
that's coming, and I'd like to advertise that because that's coming soon.
yeah, Parkland will be next.
Yeah,
This is
Parkland
this.
Hospital. If
Luckily,
those,
Mike
those
has his hands. Luckily, Mike still has the cast on his hand because that's just preventing the inevitable when I destroy you on Parkland.
that's my excuse, baby. My pin, my cast, my
Yeah, it's
pin.
funny how these boxers, right before they go, they have this injury, and they can't have to postpone the fight for 6 months.
But for anybody that doesn't know, Parkland Hospital is the section we're doing where after Kennedy was shot on Elm Street, they rushed him to the hospital. in Dallas, Parkland Hospital. Uh, and there was a lot of controversy of what those doctors said as opposed to what the doctors said in Bethesda, where the Secret Service basically forced his body to be taken
Illegally, I might add.
illegally. Yeah, illegally. I mean that's something I can't go against that. That wasn't an illegal movement.
And
That's Texas law.
I would like to, I would like, and I would like to also make a point out too. That was Texas law when a murder took place there. An autopsy had to be taken. At that time, it was not a federal crime to kill the president,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they
Good,
had
good.
no legal right to take the president's body from Dallas.
Yeah, it's a good point. You're right about that. Yep. Um. I'm.
It was basically obstruction of justice.
And I'm sure everyone knows that I support the I agree that Oswald acted alone, and obviously when it comes to this Parkland thing, I think the reason for them taking him to Bethesda, I think the only reason why I think they did that was because it's President Kennedy. He's a military man. I don't think they were in a state where they didn't want to be in to begin with. There's a lot to it.
And I think he was taken there because there's a lot different between civilian doctors doing an autopsy and military doctors doing an autopsy when they're just
Yeah, and
following
there
orders.
and there was actually a big debate on him going to Bethesda or a different military hospital. What was the other one?
I don't recall off the top of my head.
Somewhere up on the East Coast, somewhere up there, military hospital. I don't know, but anyway, that's another one of my reasons for to to not go with the conspiracies because if the whole Bethesda thing was a conspiracy, why was there an option to go to a different hospital?
I don't know. I'll have to look into that more. Um,
But like I said, I'm just bringing it up because we haven't done a JFK one in a while, and that's what's coming up, which is a totally different segment to our channel for anyone listening.
yeah. Yeah,
But
that's right, Mr. Bilioso.
but you smell a rat, don't you, Sarah?
But you kind of smell a rat, don't you, Cyril?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't account for the bullets, Miss Bugliosi.
You know there were other fragments found in the car. And then when it goes, hey, I did not say that bullet created those wounds, Mr. Bugliosi.
Mrs. Pence, and it's Bugliosi. In Italian, G before I is silent.
And he
Or
continued to
whatever.
call it Bugliosi.
The bug.
The bug.
Oh shit. But there was something that did you see that car accident where the car went flying straight into a building?
No.
Oh shit. It was a recent one. I mean, it went up. It was sticking into like the second floor of the building.
I had a thing me and a friend was talking about the other day, and he's asked me about was talking about conspiracies or something. And he asked me what I thought about was it the Vegas shooter out there and with the rifles. And I said, well, I just want somebody to answer me this. I said, how did he get all this military equipment up 14 flights of stairs with nobody seeing him, take out an 800-pound hurricane-proof window with no help, disable the security cameras and the security systems?
See,
Nobody
I
seen
don't
that?
know all this. I don't know all this. You'd have to run this by me.
Oh, he got like what was it, 400 something? I mean, I forgot how many pounds of it was of all these weapons up 9 flights of stairs with nobody seeing him. Took out a glass window that was
What do you mean he
hurricane.
took it out? Like,
He took it out so he could fire. He took it out. It was an 800-pound
I
hurricane-proof
mean, well, he
window.
shot it out.
No, like took it, dismantled it, took it out of the wall.
Oh God damn! I see. I did not know that.
It was like a 800-pound window that could survive up to like 400 or 500 mile-an-hour winds. Um, Disabled the security cameras. Disabled the surveillance cameras, and nobody sees this. Nobody's seen anything. Nobody's seen any of this stuff go upstairs. I mean, how did you get this in a casino? Get it up 8 flights of stairs, disable
I
all
could,
this?
I could see him getting the guns and the artillery up there.
How?
But, huh?
How?
Suitcases? I don't know. I don't really know
Yeah.
much about it, dude. I don't,
And then there were reports of second shooters that died.
I heard this. I heard that. What was going on?
Why he did it?
What was it? What was it? A rally or something down there?
No, no, it was a concert that was taking place.
Yeah, see, I didn't pay much attention. All these mass shooting things is just fucking crazy.
And amazing, it's always some kind of deranged white male that pulls these off.
I mean, there was some oddness about this guy though, wasn't there?
Mm,
Something about his brother.
I don't remember. I would have to go back and just look at it again. I forgot a little bit about it because I was really into it when it first happened. There was something there too. I can't remember.
Well, I mean, where was it? Where are these second shooters? Why do people think that? See, I don't even know.
They said there were second shooters. It was coming from other floors. Of course, again, when there's gunfire going off, I don't really know if people were really looking up and trying to
As
figure
we
out
know, as we know.
shots going up. I think people were just trying to get the hell out of there, get down and, mass, so I don't really know about reports of second shooters. I mean, that's easy to
And
say
at
when.
the end of the day, it's fucking it's sick. It's sick
Well,
shit.
it's became a society today that, you could be just sitting in a McDonald's eating a hamburger, and then somebody comes in there and just shoots the place up for no reason.
And that's not even exaggerating, man. I
No,
mean,
no,
that
no.
actually happened. I think in LA in like the 80s, there was a huge McDonald's massacre.
Yeah, and you know, I seen this interesting thing the other day that was put out there, and it was talking about these mass shootings by these people that's taken place over the last few years, and every one of them was registered Democrats, and not one member of the NRA was involved in a mass shooting.
Yeah, it's funny, huh? The one I do know most about is the Sandy Hook one. I don't think
I think that's
you've heard.
ridiculous.
Yeah, you've heard. Dude, how you can't you're stretching it too far, too
Yeah, if
far,
you're gonna
bro.
give me, you got to give me something I can go on. I mean, just you're gonna
Dude,
bring it.
I mean you're
Bring it
s-
up.
you're basically saying that was a whole fucking movie scene, man. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was just,
And what an insult to those families.
of course.
Jesus.
Um,
The other ones out, I mean, the kid that blasted up the movie theater, the weird kid there. I don't see no conspiracy there, do you?
no, I mean, I don't see a lot of conspiracies with any of these mass shootings. I just think it's some. I don't know
It's a
what
trend.
What the motivation? Well, remember back in the '90s when it all kind of stopped. You had all these high school kids. I mean, there's a bunch of them in Mississippi and Arkansas. I mean, I'm not even talking about the Columbine boys, but Mississippi,
Oh man.
Arkansas. I mean, there was a high school shooting every day. I remember there was these one boys, and I think they was like 12, and one of their girlfriends had broke up with them, so they went in there and they'd set up snipers positions outside the school and had set a fire alarm off. And as people was coming out of the school for a
They
fire
picked them
alarm, they were
off.
just picking them off left and right.
Yeah, I remember that Columbine one. I remember that clear as day, man. God damn it. This shit was crazy.
Yeah, I remember when that came on that day. And
Now,
there's some YouTube.
yeah, I was just gonna say, now you can go on YouTube and see some footage of those two kids.
Well, yeah,
Ooh,
you can just see some of the videos they were making too.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Eric Harris, they was like one about they was doing something, but Dylan
He's the
Klebold,
shorter one, right?
huh?
He's the shorter one, right?
Yeah, he was a shorter one with kind of the close crop hair. Dylan Klebold had the long hair, and they was
Yeah.
doing some kind of clip about messing with some kid and what they was going to do to him. And Dylan Harris, it was kind of a joke how he was doing, but you see the rage and the hatred in Eric Harris's eyes. And a lot of these boys too are come from affluent backgrounds, basically spoiled rotten kids. I mean, that kid
Oh yeah.
that his father was a music producer and he couldn't get a
Yep.
girlfriend, so he goes out and just starts shooting these women, um, left and right.
That's the one that he ended up dying in his car, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
I
the
mean,
same
yeah,
one.
what? I'm sorry, man, but dude, I've been to high school. I've been to a fucking big ass high school in basically Boston, the outskirts of Boston. And, bullying, I've never seen, obviously kids get bullied, but I've never seen some fucking bullying to the point where someone's gonna shoot up a fucking school, man.
No, but there was this kid I remember that I went to high school with, and this guy had no friends, and he was a loner, and people picked on him all the time. Now looking back, I could have seen that kid, and he was so highly intelligent. I could have seen him going in there and doing something like that. Now looking back, years
Yeah,
later.
I can look back and see the same thing. But they didn't do it. I don't know. For some reason I have a feeling something about the internet has to do with it.
Probably, and then a lot of these people want to be copycat.
Oh yeah.
Eric Harris and Dylan Clay boys when they was talking about it, they said they was wondering who was going to play them in the movie.
Yeah, that's like the best example of the Columbine ones. I mean, when you really think about what they did in that school, man, that was some fucking they did some work, boy.
Oh yeah, they did some work, um, and it changed
Wow.
a lot of the um, police tactics because it changed a lot of some of the police tactics because before the police were trained to go in there and surround the school and start negotiations, and then after that right there. They was like, okay, if something like this happens, we've got to rush to school and we've got to go in there and take these guys
Yeah.
out if they can do any more damage. And I mean, the police had never been trained or really used to dealing with something like that.
No, I know, and you're dealing with a school of kids. I mean, even though it's high school, they're children, really, man.
Yeah,
And then that
the
other kid that did that college in Virginia up here,
yeah, the Virginia Tech shooter.
that dude, he did some work, man. God damn.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is they want to do an assault rifle assault ban or a ban on assault rifles. Well, that's still not going to keep them out of people's hands who want to get them. It's kind of like
Yeah, so see now that's the whole theory. I'm not even saying it's a conspiracy, but that is the theory
well, it's
that
kind of like you know when they outlawed prohibition, it would take the alcohol off the street. Well, how'd that work out for you?
Yeah, oh, that's a great example. If you taking away assault rifles is not going to stop that. I don't think it'll stop those school shootings. I don't think it will. I don't think it's
No.
a bad idea, but
Well, the thing about it is, let's just say there was not something like that there. If somebody has the goal that they're going to go out and destroy a bunch of lives in a school, well, they're going to figure out other ways to do it with bombs or explosive devices or, you know,
yeah.
uh, yeah. I mean, it's not, if they're dead set on doing something like that, they're going to figure out another way to do it.
Yeah, definitely, dude. You can go into a classroom with a goddamn samurai sword and hack a teacher's head off. Who knows?
And you go in there with, with that and do it. I mean, stick a dynamite thrown in a classroom. How much more damage? I mean, what kind of damage you gonna do with that? I mean, it's just,
You know what's crazy about that Virginia Tech kid? He like chain the doors shut and shit.
yes.
Now if you ever looked into him, he was deranged as fuck.
Well, I think most of them are. I mean, who wakes up one day and decides, okay, I'm going to go up here and shoot up a college, or the Fort Hood massacre?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I got to get me some ice to fix me a new Coke. I'll be right back. Keep our viewers.
Yeah. I don't know. What do y'all people think about these mass school shootings? Or better yet, what do y'all people think about guns? Uh, high powered artillery weapons.
I seen this meme the other day that said, governments have been responsible for killing 262 million of their own citizens, yet they think they're the only ones that should have guns.
So that's an issue too about the. I see both sides of it, but the idea of the police department basically becoming they're militarized. They're militarized.
Yes, and they should not be militarized.
And now, you don't think there's an argument both ways for that at all?
Militarized? No, because their job is not to be militarized. No.
Okay,
So
so let's take the Boston marathon bombing.
hmm
So when those kids got away and they were driving around, killing cops, stealing cars, whipping bombs out of cars. What do you think? You think somebody, some other agency should have handled it instead of the police?
No, 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 no. I'm not saying that at all. But I don't want our military running or our police running around in armored vehicles and basically
Do you know that for that Boston bombing, they labeled it martial law for like the day.
yeah. The thing about it is with martial law is if martial law is ever declared, the military becomes in charge, and the military does not have to give power back up.
I'm saying they did martial law with that Boston bombing.
That gives the military complete control.
Oh, they were dragging people out of their houses, man.
Right. And what happens when you give the military control? That's when a coup d'etat can take place.
Yeah, anybody familiar with the Kennedy case knows that term very well. Coup d'etat.
The departure from love field that day was not so much a takeoff as it was a getaway. Remember that quote?
Yeah. Um, but didn't they put that kid, one of the survivors of the Boston bombings? They like glorified him on the cover of some magazine, didn't they?
I don't recall that.
Rolling Stone, I think. I don't know,
I
but I
knew.
remember that shit happened clear as day. You don't believe there was a conspiracy there, right? Because that's another place where they place a conspiracy.
I don't see how that would have been a conspiracy.
I don't either. I mean, you can clearly see these kids placing that backpack,
I think it was a
right?
conspiracy. I mean, what was the motive for there to be a conspiracy there? What was you trying to prove, or what was you trying to provoke by doing that? A
Oh,
war with Czech?
the conspiracists think that it's the first attempt to initial martial law, which they did.
So then they believe that the government would have been behind that.
Right. They said that they had bomb sniffing dogs there that didn't detect those bombs and all types of shit.
Well, it's not easy to throw a bob sniffing dog off. All you gotta do is throw some pepper on the ground.
Not only that, buddy, but the Boston Marathon is 26 miles long. I mean, come on.
Right. Right. Correct. I mean, that's a lot of ground to cover with a few dogs.
And just because they place it at the end doesn't mean like, oh, they should have checked the end. There's no indication that would be the prime spot to put it. Who? I mean,
Prob spot to be put it would be dead set in the middle to me.
I think so too.
I mean,
Or at the start. I don't know.
or better off at the start, yeah, before they all get spread out. I mean,
But the FBI did know about the older brother in that case.
yeah, I remember that.
They had a beat on him.
Yeah, they did.
See, all these type of conspiracies, I think fuck up the conspiracies that are legitimate.
Mm-hmm. Have I ever told you about the conspiracy to kill Wallace?
Wallace who?
George Wallace, who was the governor of Alabama.
Oh yeah, yeah, you told me. Yep.
Yeah. No, that there's even more to me, more evidence of that than in the Kennedy assassination.
You think so?
Well, this guy was a busboy up there in a some restaurant, some hotel in D.C., and he was basically flying all over the country, stalking Wallace, and he was taking $1,200 plane flights. And the night before he shot Wallace, he was staying in a five-star hotel, eating the finest of foods, and I think he had
When
a
was it? When was this, Chris?
Arthur Bremer, and he had an escort come in um, to yeah, I think he had a female escort come in too. Well, my question is, if he's making all these $1,200, plane tickets, who was paying for this? Somebody had to be funding him.
Big time.
And according to what I heard is when the initial reports that because Nixon was so scared of Wallace, and we already know what kind of guy Nixon was. He was so scared of Wallace that in the 1970 governor's race, Wallace's wife, who was the governor, she died, and Arthur, what was his name? Albert Brewer took over as governor. So Wallace wanted to run for president in 72. Well, the only way he could run for president is he had to get the governorship back of Alabama. So the Nixon campaign poured over $500,000 into the Brewer campaign to defeat Wallace. Now, I don't know what kind of money that would be in today's dollars. Well, supposedly, when Wallace got shot, E. Howard Hunt went in and
Yeah,
told Nixon that Wallace had been shot, and Nixon's reply was, "How did y'all pull it off?"
that's interesting.
And all these guys were again connected to Watergate, Howard Sturgis.
And again, even though I don't believe the moon landing conspiracy, I think that's like the Kennedy case. I don't believe there was a conspiracy, but I still think it's a good conspiracy. People have a right to ask questions with those ones, you know.
Oh, I don't think we ever walked on the moon.
And I don't blame you for thinking that. I don't think it's one of those bogus ones where I can be like, are you fucking crazy?
Well, one thing I go by is like, our GPS systems today on our phone, our car, they didn't have that then. So if you're going to the moon, if you're one, degree off, you're going to go 100,000 miles off, and then you've got to take back off from there, and you've got to gauge the fuel, and you got what was those that band of radioactivity out there, the Allen.
Oh, the Van Allen radiation belts.
Yes, I was listening to these cosmonauts, and they said the reason they never attempted it, they couldn't have been done. They said once they went into that, they said it would have short circuited everything on uh, the spaceship.
I think it would have actually done worse than just that.
And then, like I've always said, if Neil Armstrong was the first person on the moon,
My me and my dad were listening to that one, and that was a good point you made.
who was videotaping him coming off of it? Who
I
set
don't
the
have an answer. I don't have an answer for
who set the
that.
camera up and videotaped him walking down off of it?
I don't have an. My dad was like, "That's a good point." We were driving. He was like, "That's a good point," and I was like, "Holy shit, yeah."
Yeah, I mean, if it's, somebody had to set up that camera, somebody had to videotape it. Who was the first person off? And then, how did it take off from a?
Unless it was set up for Armstrong to seem like the first guy to walk down, and they already had somebody down there filming him. I don't know. I don't know, but it's a great question.
Yeah, I mean, and then, you would have had to have a launching pad to take back off. Where was the launching pad at?
Well, they did have some type of reemergence system. I forget how that thing worked.
Um,
So all that astrophysics stuff very hard for me to explain. I'm not fucking educated in it.
well, no, me either. But again, that was my only thing is,
But then again, people take the moon landing hoax too far again. That they found alien bases up there. Come on, man. No, no, no.
no, I don't believe that.
But you do know that the Russians and they wanted to plant a fucking base up there, from a militarized base.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're getting more viewers, guys. Please subscribe to our channel up there.
Yeah,
Um,
we're
it's the MC channel hosted by Mike and Chris. Go on YouTube. Please subscribe to this channel. We're getting more subscribers. We got to get up to 100. Please go to that and subscribe to it. Once we get to 100, then we'll be out there. Apparently, we're making a lot of progress with the YouTube community. So we're really getting this thing going off the ground.
and we do hit on conspiracies a lot because they're fucking cool to talk about. Um, I don't know I don't know how many people are watching right now.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of people that's watching. I see. Um,
So comment if you think. What do you think about the moon landing? You think it was real or fake?
yeah, what do y'all think? Was it real or fake? Did it happen?
No one will comment. Watch.
I don't know. We talked about that the other night too. I mean, there's other things to talk about.
No, yeah, I mean, we do. I mean, we talk about everything. I mean, like right now, I can go into fucking. Okay, who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl with the Patriots? Because we know it's going to be the Patriots.
I'd probably go with the Vikings. Of course, man,
Not a
you know, the
bad
Eagles.
call.
Well, but you know, then the Eagles were underdogs in the first two games, and found a way to win. But I just don't see anybody beating New England. I mean,
No, no.
you know, I don't see anybody beating Brady.
You think it's his last year?
Oh no, man, Brady's playing as good as he was. You know, probably
He
the
wants
best.
he wants to play for like 5 more years.
I don't see why. I don't. I mean, I don't know if he can go five more. But I think two, maybe 3 years left in him.
Shit. Well, be grateful that I mean I'm not a giant football fan, but be grateful that you're getting to witness to probably the greatest quarterback of all time. For real.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
this guy's great. This is like watching. I mean, we got to watch Michael Jordan. You know.
Yeah, you've got to put him up there with the category of Jordan.
Of course, of course.
Um, I mean, I don't really know anybody else who I would probably compare him to.
And then that's the same with Jordan. That's another thing. And people like to compare a lot of people that they say is just as good as Jordan. No.
Who,
I'm
LeBron?
sorry. He's one of the people that they say. Kobe
Yeah,
Bryant.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I
How
think they're
many?
both great. I think they're both excellent.
Right. How many finals did Jordan lose?
None. Uh, He never even went. He never even went fucking 6 games, past 6 games in the finals.
How many has LeBron lost now? Four.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Kobe's impressive. Kobe's impressive.
Yeah, but you know the one team they had around him though is that year. I think it was it Detroit that beat them when they had you know um, they had Kobe, they had Shaq, they had Gary Payton, Robert Ory,
I
Karl
know.
Malone.
What a team. God damn.
You had an all-star team there, and I think they got beaten 5 games.
And so didn't fucking LeBron when he went to Miami. That was an all-star cast.
Yeah. Um,
See, Michael never left his team.
Nope. Michael stayed with his team the whole time.
He wasn't winning at the beginning either.
Mm-mm.
He was going against people like Larry Bird and shit. He couldn't get past teams like that.
Yeah, that's the thing about it is they don't really have a lot of these teams don't have the players like the all-star players like they did. I mean, so yeah, they got some good players, but not I don't think legends of the game that they had back then.
And we're not just talking about one player on the team that's good. The Boston Celtics back then, that team was unbelievable. The Lakers were unbelievable with Magic and Kareem and
Yeah. Yeah.
now when Michael Jordan's 96, 97 Bulls were probably I think the greatest NBA team of all time.
You think they could have beat the Warriors?
Yes, easily, handedly.
Do you think they could have beat San Antonio the next year when they played?
Hey, the Warriors are the team that beat their winning record, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go back and forth on whether they could have beaten San Antonio that year.
Which one?
Because Jordan retired the next year, San Antonio won. It would have been a good finals if San Antonio won. It would have signaled, like the changing of the guard to
Are
me.
you talking about San Antonio with Tim Duncan and stuff?
Yeah, Tim Duncan's last year. Yeah,
Oh yeah, he's solid, man. He's solid.
yeah.
I like Tim Duncan.
And I kind of think San Antonio might have won that. The Bulls were aging, and If they did, that would have
Yeah, I
sealed.
don't think I don't think Michael was aging. I don't. Michael could have kept going.
Well, yeah, because I mean, even when he came back with the Wizards, he was still averaged, I think, 23
No,
points
yeah,
a
see,
game.
no, but I think there was something special with him with the Bulls. That's what I'm saying. If if
Yeah,
he remained with Scotty and Phil Jackson, I think they could have done it again.
maybe. I'm not saying they wouldn't have, but I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if San Antonio still would have won because there's always, like I said, the changing of the guard.
And they were
Which
definitely they were definitely having ego problems towards the end with Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan. I mean,
Kukoc, Longley, Kerr.
that's a fucking God. They were good.
How Jackson can keep all those egos in line, I'll never know.
He
The
always
Zen,
does it.
the Zen Master.
He does shit like that. Zen shit.
Yeah,
Meditation.
I mean, he was awesome, man.
Yeah, he was. He was. And you can't compare. You can't really. You can compare Michael to Kobe, but comparing him to LeBron, it's not even the same position. It's a different position.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
LeBron's way bigger. LeBron's a way bigger guy. If you want to compare LeBron to somebody, you got to go with somebody like I don't know, like a Magic Johnson, like a guy at that size. I mean, I think LeBron's better than Magic Johnson. I mean,
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know about that.
I, it's a toss up, but that's more of a comparison than LeBron Michael.
Yeah,
I think.
I'd still take Magic. I mean, I mean, that was magic.
But I was watching how the Bulls for so many years could not get past the bad boys.
I love the Bad Boys, man.
Dude, they beat Michael down. They were not letting they had like quotes in the newspaper and stuff like the bad boys ain't letting the magician play work his tricks and shit like that. They beat him down, boy. I mean, Bill Lambier was on the court just to fucking foul the shit out of you.
Yeah, and not only foul you, but to hurt you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what-
I would like to see LeBron drive on him.
oh, he'd be taken out, take his legs out.
Oh yeah, in a minute or
That's
clothesline.
yeah. That I mean, that was their rule. If
Yeah,
they come in the paint if they come in the paint once, make sure it doesn't happen again.
and and that was a team. A lot of people say that a team takes on the personality of their head coach, and they absolutely did with Chuck Daly.
Dude, I love that team. I love it. I love that team.
That was probably my favorite team was the Bad Boys.
Isaiah Thomas, God, with that ball handling. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Do you remember that steal, the famous steal by Larry Bird versus them?
Yep.
That guy Larry came out of nowhere and stole that ball with like 2 seconds left.
Yes, he did.
Dude, that's some fucking that's a and I'm not this has nothing to do with being racist, but seeing a white boy out there doing that shit and all the brothers respecting it, I just love it. I love it.
Well, the brothers love how he talks shit to him. To back it
Oh yeah.
up.
Right here. Right here. I'm gonna do it. Right here.
And nothing you can do to stop it.
No. Merry fucking Christmas.
Merry fucking Christmas. God, I wish he would have stayed on and coached.
Yeah, why didn't he?
I don't know, man. He said he signed a 3-year contract. At the end of the 3 years, he was done.
Indiana.
Yep.
Remember when he was coaching Indiana and Reggie Miller hit that I don't know if it was a game winning three or if it put them into overtime, but everybody was cheering and it showed Larry Bird's face and he just had a stern face like that was to be expected. Like I'm not happy. That was to be expected.
He always had that stern look. There was never a smile.
No,
I mean,
I love this guy.
never a smile. I mean, it was all business. I mean, yeah, that was expected.
The 3-point contest, as all the contestants were getting ready and gathering, he'd go up to them and say, "All right, fellas, I'm just trying to figure out who's coming in second place here." God damn, man.
Oh God.
Now, do you remember the old dunk contest?
Oh yeah.
Michael Jordan, and Dominique Wilkins.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. I remember that.
those two battled, dude. Michael won, but dude, Dominique was great. Dominique,
Maybe my friends was talking the other day, not the off subject. He was talking about like firearms and stuff. He says he's got a little 25, and he goes,
yeah,
you know, the mob used to use 25s and 22s, and I said, dude, I thought they always used 38s.
the mob.
Yeah, I said I thought they always used 38 revolvers that
Yeah,
hit so close.
doesn't no, that's classic mob shit. Yeah, look, my friend Nick Marazzi's watching. He can contest to that. He's an Italian. He knows what's up. Mafia,
Yeah,
snub nose.
stub nose 38 hit up close. Two at the back of the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It must have been a different world back in the '60s when the mafia had their reign. You know,
Marcello's Giancotti, Hoffa.
Gene Hoff is a weird character.
Yep.
I mean, I'm old enough to remember the Gotti going to trial and shit.
I remember all of Gotti's trials. Teflon
I mean,
Don.
it was headline news.
Yeah. It was great, man.
We're talking about a killer, a fucking mobster. You know what I'm saying?
Old killer.
Oh yeah, old school too.
Go home and eat a bowl of cereal.
Damn right. Like you said, died in his cell. Didn't
Died
say
in his cage.
nothing.
Died in his
Yeah, yeah.
cage.
Died in his cage. Didn't say nothing.
Didn't say
Cancer.
nothing. Yep.
His son kind of became like an acting boss for him, and something happened where the son was I don't know, about supposed to testify or something, and there's a recording of John Senior talking to John Junior in jail, and John Gotti Senior goes, "Even if you stole a church and the fucking steeple was sticking out of your asshole, you don't admit to it."
I think it was F. Lee Bailey that said admit nothing and deny everything.
Yeah, F.E. Bailey. Yep.
And he also said deny, deny, deny.
As much as I'm a fan of Gotti, he kind of did take the mob down, though.
Well, yeah, after his conviction, it was never the same.
He's just too
Especially
flamboyant. They weren't about that, man.
the reason that I can't remember what the guy's name was, but it was during the HSCA. You know, I can't remember what the guy's name was who said it was a mob hit, but this
Oh,
guy
you're
brought
talking about Hinckley or something like that?
his name was Robert something. Robert Blakely.
Blakely.
Blakely was the one that said it was a mob hit. Well, they brought this guy in who was a mob expert, and he had this chart up there, and it had all the Gambino crime families, and he had it like, broke down, like a tree, and he said, of all the mob people that have rolled on people and everything that's been said, he goes, not once has anybody ever rolled on anybody for being involved in the Kennedy assassination. And I was like, damn, that's a good point.
What did he say?
He brought up they brought him in there to testify, and he was the premier expert on the families, and he had a chart up, and it was the um, Gambino crime families, and it had it broke down, like a family tree, this, and
Yeah.
it goes down. And he said throughout the years, he said of all the people that have rolled, all the people that's taken, you know, deals, he said not one person has ever rolled or implicated anybody in the Kennedy assassination.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
besides, I mean, um, like Garrison said, he's in or Kevin Costner said in the movie JFK, he said he wasn't denying the mob involvements. He said, but the mob does stuff with hits with 38s up close. They don't
Of
do it
course.
with snipers.
It's true.
And he said the mob wouldn't have the guts or you know to pull something like this off.
It's not their style. I mean, they
And
they
then
were helping out the CIA with Castro, though. That's
yeah,
a
they
fact.
they were. I mean that's a fact. But I mean, and to me the thing again too is um, if you
But
wanted
that they
to
weren't
stop
they
it.
wanted Havana. That's why.
Yeah, because oh God, yes. Could you imagine what Havana would be like today, man? That'd be one of the most greatest tourist capitals of the world, man. That city
Have
would
you
be
ever
awesome.
seen what it was like when the mob was running it? It was
Yep.
insane.
Well, there used to be a bowl game, a college football bowl game that's played in like the 30s or 40s. It was called the Havana Bowl.
Heard about that.
Yeah. And but the thing too about the assassination, if the mob wanted to pull this off, they wouldn't have went after Kennedy. They would have killed Robert.
Yeah, see, that's always been my problem with the mob
Yeah.
affiliation.
Yeah. Robert was the one that was going after him, which is always odd to me because
Big time though, big time.
yeah, I mean, and which is always odd to me because the mob helped put him in, and then he turned on him.
Yeah. Well, maybe Robert's fucking death was mob connected.
There's some stuff that there's one conspiracy in it that I think about Sirhan being brainwashed in a Manchurian candidate. I don't buy that crap either. Um,
No, no.
I don't buy the stuff about and we'll do one about the Kennedy Roberts assassination too about you know
Yeah.
but I don't see it being a
That's
man.
basically saying they had him like under some type of hypnotized or something,
Yeah, they
right?
hypnotized him. Yeah, because Sirhan supposedly said he didn't remember anything that took place, and his reason for killing Robert, he said, was because Robert supported the Palestinians, and um,
I don't know, man. I don't know enough about that one.
but I mean, you got to think. I mean, in the '60s, you had three major assassinations, and then Wallace shot in '72. I mean, so you got a lot of figures that were shot during that
Oh, dude.
time.
You know how you brought up the other day about Marilyn Monroe's death?
Yeah.
I looked into it. Yeah, that was a fucking shady death right there, boy.
Did you look at the autopsy photos?
Yes, yes.
Somebody beat her to death.
Yeah.
I
She got
mean
a good whooping.
that was not no drug overdose. Somebody beat her to death.
And they said the reason why she was so battered and shit was because however she overdosed, she banged herself around the apartment or whatever. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, no, that doesn't cause that kind of injuries on your face.
She may have overdosed, but I think someone fucking overdosed her.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that was accidental either because there was reports that Bobby Kennedy had actually left her apartment that night.
Well, him and John were banging her.
Both of them were banging her. Yeah, but they said that Marilyn's affair with Bobby was more than what hers with John was. Um,
What? That Bobby's meant more to her?
well, that not they meant more to her, but John may have banged her a few times, but Bobby was really banging her.
And what? And what? People getting pissed about that?
No, 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 no. I mean, not people getting pissed about it. People were just saying that, you know, her involvement with Bobby was more in depth than what it was John. John might have hit it once or twice, but her and Bobby was actually carrying on a relationship, and that Bobby may have actually been involved in ordering her murder.
That's what I was just gonna get. That's what I was gonna ask you. Why? Why? What is your opinion on why she got taken out?
Mm, she may have gotten too close to the Kennedys that she knew too much, and they had to silence her.
She definitely knew a lot. I mean, she was.
I mean, because if you look at um, just the unexplained deaths around the Clintons, I mean, there's been a lot of uh,
Clintons.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
People don't know that shit, dude.
well, Ron Brown, who was Secretary of Commerce, his plane, he was going over to Bosnia in like the 94, 93 or something when his plane went down. Well, people said there was actually a bullet hole in the back of his head. And then when that plane went down, before any first responders could get there, it was surrounded by military intelligence, CIA, government operatives. And there was one survivor, and she was like, out of it, and she was walking around. So they grab her and throw her on an ambulance, and then it's reported that she died from a broken neck on the way to the ambulance, on the way to the hospital.
Who is that guy that was flying drugs for the Clintons? And
Oh,
he
you're
got
talking
caught.
about the guy who used to bring in the cocaine from the Clintons when he was governor of Arkansas?
Yeah, and he had a mysterious death.
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name. Now, there was another one who was White House counsel, Vince Foster, who they ruled as a suicide, and then and he was found in that Washington Park where there were drag marks where like his heels were drug in there, and he was laid there, and then that night all of his files came up missing.
Yeah, the guy I'm thinking about is at the tip of my tongue too. And he had a mysterious death like that about a suicide, but there's no way it could have been suicide.
Now, there was what? Oh, there's been several. The one that got me though was Jim McDougal, who was this kind of like plays it with the Morton child to me a little bit. Um, Jim McDougal was
Another
Hillary.
character that not too many people know about.
Yeah, uh, Jim McDougal was Hillary Clinton's one of her partners in Whitewater, and he had been subpoenaed to testify before um, Ken Starr's investigation, and he refused. So they he'd he was jailed for contempt of court, and he was in a Little Rock jail for 2 years. Finally agrees to testify. Supposed to fly him to Washington the next day to testify, and they find him in his cell dead of a heart attack.
God damn.
But there was one
Was it?
guy.
Dude, I know the guy's name. I know the guy's name that I'm thinking of. Barry Sales.
Yes, that was it. Yep, that was it.
Check out his suicide.
Well, there was one guy the other day that was supposedly I found that was I was reading about. And I don't know how much truth it is. I mean, but he was connected to the Clinton Foundation, all this right here, and he had a knife stuck in his chest, and it was ruled as a suicide.
You gotta really want to go if that's the case.
I think there were 52 people that was surrounded the Clintons that died from mysterious causes. And, I want to read. Go ahead.
This shit dates back for a while with the Clintons, right?
Oh yeah, all the way back when they was at Arkansas. I mean, the Clintons weren't motivated by money; they were motivated by power. And of course, they
Both
did.
of them
Yeah, both of them.
working as a team.
Exactly. I mean, this was all played out. I mean, you can see the writing on the wall. I mean, ever since he was the governor of Arkansas, she becomes first lady. He's about to go out of office in 2000. What does she do? She runs for Senate of New York. Had she not taken had the Clintons not had JFK Jr.'s plane taken down, JFK was going to run against Hillary in
Oh,
2000.
you think the Clintons did that?
Well, JFK was going to run against her in 2000, and
Oh, I know that. I know that.
JFK Jr. was going to run for the Senate seat in 2000 in New York, and he would have drubbed Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, and didn't he say he was also gonna uncover a lot of stuff about his dad's assassination?
There was a lot of things that he was fixing to reveal.
How the fuck did they take his plane down though?
I don't know.
Where is he flying from?
They were flying from, oh, was it Kitty Buckport, or they were flying to a wedding that night.
In the Hamptons?
May have been the Hamptons. It wasn't that far of a plane ride, but they was flying,
Did he go down near the JFK compound or something?
he went down in the ocean.
Yeah, but like off the coast of where?
It may have been off the coast of there. I really can't remember off the top of my
I don't
head.
either. I can't remember either. Man, I remember when that one happened. That one made I was just like, God damn, this family is cursed.
Because I'll tell you, what was going to happen was he was going to beat Clinton, and then in 2008, the Democratic nomination was going to come down between JFK Jr. and Barack Obama.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That would have been an interesting race.
Yeah, what year did JFK Jr. go down?
99, right before he was fixing to run for Senate.
Yeah, that's right. I was in high school. Yep.
And I think John probably would have beat Obama. He was like America's son, ever since he saluted the casket.
Oh, dude, he had the same swagger as his dad.
Mm-hmm.
The same charm.
Yeah.
He visited Mike Tyson in jail.
John?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. A lot of people did.
Do
Did
you
no one
remember? Kind of, I have to get back on our JFK stuff. Do you remember and we'll touch on this when we get into the movie. Do you remember the woman? She was a reporter, and her name was, I think, Dorothy Killigan, and she had the only private interview with Ruby in jail, and she came out and said, "I'm fixing to blow this case wide open," and then she was found dead 2 days later.
Yeah. There's really not much you can tell about that, though.
Not really. She don't know what she was going to say.
Exactly.
There is a YouTube clip I'd like for you to look up, and it's like, I think it was at one of his appeals hearings, and
The
Ruby
one
kept trying to.
when he's sitting there saying, I don't want to let the true facts come aboard."
No, that's not it. He was trying to say something, and his lawyers kept saying, "Be quiet, Jack. Be quiet. Be quiet. Don't talk,
Now
Jack."
you're not talking about something from the movie.
No. This was actually. You can go on YouTube and pull this up. I'm not
Oh,
talking from the original
I gotta
YouTube.
see it.
Yeah, pull it up. Jack Ruby appeal hearing or something, and Ruby's sitting there trying to say something. His lawyers are going, "Shut up, Jack. Shut up. Don't talk, Jack. Be quiet."
Dude. But the only thing with the Ruby thing is he left his dogs in the car. He went to the Western Union thing. It's like he was taking his time. I would think a sniper would, if he was there to kill him, he wouldn't have stopped in the Western Union.
Well, you've also got to remember Jack Ruby was a very unstable man.
Oh yeah.
Um,
And I think that's where that guy Phelps gets all this fucking Jew shit from.
yeah, I do too.
Because Ruby wouldn't shut up about that.
No, he wouldn't. Jim Phelps.
You heard from him lately?
How he blocked me because after you told me to chime in, I chimed in. I could just see your comments, but I couldn't see his.
Must have been those tools you were pulling out on camera.
I guess talking about us smoking cigarettes.
I know. I don't want to look up your noses while you guys smoke cigarettes, you derelicts. What the
Well,
hell are
don't
you
watch.
talking about?
Well, don't watch the damn video then.
Not like I'm sitting there going like this, look up my nose. I mean, what? I can't wait, dude. I'm now all this shit you've been talking, man, about Parkland. I'm coming hard in the paint, dude.
Bring it, bring it. I'm gonna take you down like Bill Lambier did.
Oh,
I've got the doctor's notes. I've got the. I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm just gonna save that.
Bethesda, I'm armed up.
Oh, so am I. So am I. I'm ready for Bethesda too.
Now, I think I already asked you this, but you don't follow the conspiracy part where they altered the wounds during the flight, right?
Um, I'm gonna get into that when we get into the autopsy photos.
So you do think it.
The brain was missing.
Doesn't mean it happened on the flight though.
Well, the guy who was responsible for taking the brain out said the brain was already gone when they got to Bethesda. It was already missing.
The guy in the trial, right?
Yeah.
You know, when that guy was talking, he seemed very nervous.
Yes, he did. And he said that he for years he couldn't speak about it because he was up under orders not to talk. But I'm armed for Bethesda. I'm ready for Bethesda. I'm ready for Tippett.
Oh, I know that's the one I know. That's the one I know you're best prepared for.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready for Tippett.
The thing is, I'm battling against a lot of even. Let's suppose I'm right. I'm still battling against a lot of fucking anomalies, man.
Yeah, you have an uphill battle.
I know.
I mean, especially when it's what 75% of America still thinks there's a conspiracy. So
I don't know what the number is exactly, but it's up there.
it's up there. It's pretty high. I mean, there's the majority of the people definitely think there's a
It's
conspiracy.
gone down. It's gone down. I
It
know
has
that.
gone down some from when it was when it first came out, but it's still probably two
It's up
thirds.
there. It's up there. I know. Most of the people that were like around back then, like my dad and stuff, they're convinced of it.
Yeah, I think so. And
They're convinced of it in the way that you see it, though. Not some flamboyant conspiracy. Just very subtle shit that they did.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you just you know you can't get too deep in it.
Oh, that yeah. Well, they do.
Like, what Costner say to him? You ever read your conspiracy or your Shakespeare? Brutus and Cassius, they too were honorable men. All it takes is one Brutus, a couple people, a couple senators on the inside.
Take them out. When we do Parkland, we need to organize it. I don't think it's not gonna be a long one. It's not gonna.
No, it shouldn't be as long as the ones we've had because I'm basically just going to say what the doctor said and let you
I
refute
mean,
it.
we're talking about a 20-minute period of time here, Parkland,
20, 30 minutes fine.
of them working on Kennedy. I
Yeah,
mean,
but I
minus
mean,
minus minus the whole taking the body out of Texas and stuff.
yeah, yeah, basically, yeah. But I mean, my basically thing is not going to be like when they were working on him. I'm just going to go with what the doctor said afterwards, their notes, the stuff that the
Yeah, I
doctors,
know.
the people that were not, the people that were ignored by the Warren Commission, the testimony they didn't want to hear, questions that were not asked of the Warren Commission. The people that were not called. But that's another one
I'll
for
tell
another
you one
day.
thing that throws a whole monkey wrench into the whole fucking case.
What's that? Parkland?
Parkland.
Of course. I mean, you've got trauma doctors, you know,
Trained in that field.
that are used to, you know, gunshot wounds. Um, you know,
I'm not worried about the throat shot when they said that was entry. I'm not worried about that. That's easy to deal with. It's this whole fucking thing about the back of the head.
you're gonna have a little bit about with the throat wounds. I've got some doctors who have
Yeah, but
said it.
like, that it was a wound of entry, but
Hmm.
they didn't know that there was a wound in the back.
Actually, they did because they completely undressed him.
Yeah, but when you undress a body in a trauma, you cut it. You cut all the clothes off. There ain't no flipping the body over.
I'll have to go back, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'll have to go back and get. I've still got to get all of it organized, but anyway, I guess that can be our promo for Parkland.
Yeah. Regardless, his brain was leaking out. I mean that's
Cerebellum dropping into the bucket, back of the president's
again.
head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blacked
Whatever.
out.
I just admitted it. That part of the case there was a whole fucking monkey wrench into it. Just Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm so I just can't wait to tip it because tip is probably gonna be a long one
Oh, Tippett's gonna be a very long one.
because I'm not gonna really
Ruby's gonna be a long one.
Ruby will be a long one because I'm not really gonna you know dispute a lot of Oswald's getaway about the bus transfer and the cab and all that stuff. There's not really I'm gonna um, argue with that. Um,
See, but there's so many people that do have problems with that shit, and I don't know.
well, I think those people
It
probably
seems
not.
like it seems like your only problem with his flagging down buses and cabs is that when they did detain him, that he had a bus transfer on him in perfect condition. It seems like
Perfect.
that's your only problem.
Hmm. This bus was almost like, even if you just stuck it in your shirt, it still should have had a crinkle in it. But this thing was almost like it had just been printed. Kind of have a problem with that. And then
Yeah.
the interrogation, and some things like that. But
And like we both know, the interrogation was not recorded. We have to go by the notes that they took.
those notes were also took after the fact, and somebody actually requested for a stenographer to be brought in. It was not
Well,
played.
the notes were taken after the fact because they weren't expecting the guy to get killed.
Mm.
Which is another fucking monkey wrench in the case.
And then I'll have my own things about that too. I'll get killed, but we don't want to we don't want to divulge too much information on
No,
that.
no, 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 no. But
So,
yeah, what?
oh, nothing. Go ahead.
Um, what were you saying about the moon landing? We didn't have what to get there. That if we
Well, we've got GPS today. We didn't have GPS then. How are you going to figure out where this moon's at? If you're just going to
that
aim it up there and say, "Hope we land."
come on, man. Obviously, they had some type of calculation going on.
Yeah, but if you're 1 point of a degree off, how many thousands of miles is that going to take you in the opposite direction? On top of that,
I
I don't
think
think their suits were strong enough to withstand uh, um, what the moon was going to be like. The Russians said that if you was facing the sun, it basically would have melted the suit. If your back was away from it, it would have froze you.
is that what they said?
Hmm. And you got to remember that time the Russian space program was probably more advanced than ours.
See, the problem with them, you know how they say that they faked a lot of the footage.
Yeah.
Well, there actually is a photo, admittedly faked, of I think Armstrong or one of the other guys in a spacesuit standing doing something, but with the fake background, and they admitted that this is fake. That they used it in the newspaper.
Well, let me ask you one other question too. There's no atmosphere on the moon, right? I mean,
I mean, not. I
well,
mean, no, basically
well, how
not.
how was the flag flapping? How was the flag flapping in the wind?
Okay, the flag was up like this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pole going down here to the ground.
Yeah.
There's also a pole going this way.
Mm-hmm.
So if it gets hit here, it can move.
What's it getting hit by?
I don't know. When it flaps, it does show that the guy's jogging around it and shit.
Okay, so but there should not have been any type of wind moving it.
No, I'm not saying wind. I'm not
But it
saying
looks
no
like it's
wind.
blowing in the wind. It looks just like your
Not
flags out here today up on a telephone pole flapping in the wind. Look at the
not
picture.
really. Not really.
Come on.
It
That
almost
dog
looks
don't
like
hunt.
a it almost looks like it almost looks like tinfoil moving in a way.
Yeah, it looks like a flag blowing in the wind to me.
Shit. The dog don't hunt.
That dog don't hunt. You got that crazy bullet zigzagging all over where? Ha! That dog don't hunt.
Was it what's the address for Oswald and Guy Bannister?
544 Canal Street.
That the opening scene, not the opening scene of the movie, but that scene when he goes there and he's got the umbrella in his hand. He goes
Yeah.
544 Canal Street.
They both had same, same
If you
building.
walk right around the corner,
It was something else, Lafayette Street. Different
yeah, yeah,
addresses, different entrances, and different exits.
same building.
Same building. And how we know Lee Harvey Oswald used this? He had it printed on the leaflets.
Uh-huh. He did. He did.
So there's a tie to Guy Bannister there. And what was Guy Bannister before he was FBI?
He was a
ONI, Office of Naval Intelligence.
yeah.
And what's their
But
saying? Once ONI, always ONI.
you're going straight fucking line for line in the movie. Justin Ray, the one that's watching, he could fucking go line for line with the movie too. He introduced me to the movie.
I went to the theaters and seen it.
Oh, I watched it over his house. Shit, that was the first time I seen it. Long ass movie too.
You should see the uncut version of it. Um,
I have it. I have it.
I do too. Yeah, I can go line for line. And I mean the whole part of it. I love that one part when he's up there and he's quoting John Candy and he goes well how the hell did your name get in the Warren Commission? He goes, well, like I told to the Warren boys. He goes, Bertrand called me that summer to get Oswald's Marine charge upgrade you know and he said, Mr. Bannister said he'd take care of this, and he calls him and goes, who am I speaking? He goes, this is or he said Mr. Bertrand get up and goes, this is Clay Bertrand. Whatever they owe, I'll guarantee. And then I remember he kept questioning him, and he goes, "Damn, where's my lighter? I got a lot of cigarette for this one." He said, he said, Is this off the record, Daddy-O?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes,
Yeah,
"Well, let me sum
Daddy
it up
O.
for you. Let me sum it up for you real quick. If I answer that question, you keep asking. If I give you the name of the big enchilada, then it's Bon Voyage Dino. I mean, like plummeting. I mean, like a bullet to my head. You dig? You're a mouse fighting a gorilla. Kennedy's as dead as that crab meat. The government's still breathing. You want to line up with a dead man?" And he goes, well, listen to me. He goes, he said, either you dance into the grand jury with the real identity of Clay Bertrand, or your fat behind's going to the slammer. You dig me? And he stands up and goes, you're as crazy as your mama. He goes to show us
Yeah,
in the news.
I was just gonna ask you what's he say when he snaps out like that?
You're as crazy as your mama. It just goes show us in your jeans. The government's going to jump all over your head, Daddy-O, and go cockle doodle doo. Good day to you, sir.
I wish I could remember Mr. X's whole speech because that's one of the best ones in the movie, I think.
Oh God, I can get parts of it. You're close. You're closer than you think. And I was oh God, it was such a long speech though. I mean, he talked
Didn't
about
he say something like I was in Alaska or
they sent him to Alaska, and he's flying. Or they sent him to the North Pole, and he's flying back from New Zealand, and sometime our time, 12 hours later, they already had a complete bio of Oswald. Um, was said he was pretty sure he shot the president, acted alone, and this was 12 hours after it. He goes, "There's a word for that, Mr. Garrison, black ops." How do I know
yeah.
this? Well, it could have. He goes, you know, he goes, "If I'd been there, my central duty has been to provide security for the president." He said something about some security team was supposed to be there that day, and he goes, he could have came from a call like one of my superiors, General Landale, said, "Hey, there's another unit coming, stand down."
And the way that Oliver Stone makes that whole scene with like the imagery going on while he's making that speech, it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, he got Johnson in there. Then he goes, day after Kennedy's elected, he sides memorandum, whatever. And he goes, um, just get me. He said, which reversed Kennedy's policy in Vietnam. He goes, just get me elected. I'll give you your damn war.
Yeah, more. Yeah. That's actually a true statement, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't. I don't know if he really said that. But I don't believe the whole thing that Johnson was going to have him killed because he was going to drop
No.
Johnson. Well, that's the whole reason he went to Dallas because he had to have Dallas. He had to have Texas in '64. He had to carry Texas again.
Yeah. No. It wasn't Johnson. Johnson was not involved.
No, absolutely not.
And you can see it when Johnson makes his speech after coming back on Air Force One when he says, "I will do my best. That is all I can do.
Yep.
I ask you." Oh, what's he say? Oh, I forget.
I ask you to pray for me or something.
No, yeah, and, and God's. I'm saying when he makes that speech show, you can tell right there he wasn't involved.
No. You just see the stress out of everything.
Oh man, the burden.
Um,
But yeah, dude, I never fucking expected that I would be such a fan of those goddamn John Wayne movies. You got
like,
me on them, bro.
you
You got
got to watch his last one, The Shootist.
what? I mean, what year are we talking about with these flicks?
Um,
60s,
no,
50s.
no. The Cowboys was made in '72. I think Big Jake was made in '74. Um,
So basically 70s.
yeah, but the Cowboys and what about that fight scene that
How'd you get into him so deep? I mean, you know the line for line.
when I was a kid, man, I started watching them, and then I've just watched them a million times.
Because he's such a badass.
He had his hands crossed, looking at Bruce Dern.
Oh,
He goes, and Bruce Dern goes, I don't think so. He goes, you will, pop, pop.
okay. So which is the one where he says about the broken hip?
That
Because I
was when
seen that one.
that was when he was Bruce Dern, and he walks up to him. And he
No,
goes,
the
oh
name of
yeah,
the movie. The
no,
name of it.
that was the Cowboys.
The Cowboys. I watched that one. And what about the other one where it's, I'll blow your head off or whatever?
That was Big Jake.
That one. I started watching that one all the way up until that quote, and then I was too tired. I went to bed.
Oh God, you got to finish watching the gunfight scene.
Dude, I thought I would hate those movies until you got me into them. I really did. I was like, I ain't gonna like this shit. And then dude, fuck Dirty Harry. This guy was a bad dude, man.
Oh God, yes, man. Watch his last movie, The Shootist. Remember that part where they had that shootout, over there, and like he thought his son was killed, and that marshal goes, "I'm gonna have to take half your house, half your horse." He goes, "Nope, I'll need them." And he goes, "Is there anything else you want?" He goes, "No, you did enough." He goes, "Well, I think so," and calls his name out. He goes, you know, uh, you know, something about, you almost got my grandson killed. He goes, if if he is killed, he said, I'll still kill you. Or he goes, 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
Great flicks, man. There's so many of them.
Go watch El Dorado.
I will. I'll watch them all. I dig them.
Because at the end of that, because everybody kept saying, Mr. McCann, I thought you was dead. And he'd say, not hardly. And in the movie, that guy, he tells to blow his head off after the gunfight scene, he was about to die. He goes, just who are you? And he said, Jacob McCandles. He goes, thought you was dead. Said, not hardly.
Yeah. I still like a lot of Clint Eastwood's though. I love High Plains Drifter. I love it.
Oh, got to, man, got to.
But you don't remember that movie Angel Heart? I try to tell you, Angel Heart with Mickey Rourke and De Niro is Lucifer.
Mm-mm.
Oh God, gotta watch that. That's fucking badass. His name is Lou Cipher.
Louis Cipher. I think somewhere I heard that. Well, all right, man. We're going like 2 hours. I'm fixing to have to take my dog out. Anything you want to touch on before we finish this one?
Nah, I'm good. I just wanted to get one in. That's all. We haven't got one in.
Yeah. Get it uploaded and hopefully we get some subscribers.
Yeah, go to subscribe to that channel, man. Just because you're our friends. Jesus Christ.
I'll try to get all my people at work to go onto it tomorrow and get subscribers to it.
Yeah, it's on here somewhere. Let me see. There it is, right there.
Oh, there's my buddy Naftali. He used to work with me at Jim and Nick's. What's up, Naf?
Subscribe to the channel, now.
Naf was a cool dude, man. He was our kitchen manager. He was from Kenya. Came over here when he was young, saved all his money, moved back to Kenya, opened a pizza place over there, and just making a killing now, man.
Kenya.
Yeah.
Dude, people from Kenya ain't those like the fastest runners on earth?
Yeah.
Dude, I would have just delivered my pizzas by running.
Well, all right, man. Let me get the dog out for you so we can go to the bathroom.
All right, brother. I'll holler at you.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Hope y'all enjoyed. Till
All
next
right.
time.
Yep. Cheers. End it.